What's up, everybody? So if you're just joining me today, welcome. My name is Tanya Oliver, and today's my birthday. Today, I am 39 years alive, and just really excited to still be here. I'm really excited to still be living life intentionally. And so part of it being my birthday, I want to share some really cool core things that I value that I've learned over the last 39 years. Also, an opportunity for you to do some massive, impactful things and to share that with you today. So welcome if you're just joining me, if you're just meeting me for the first time live. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you are part of this community. And so speaking of community, I created this community with core values as far as really valuing my time, my energy, and life, and not waiting for a person, not waiting for an opportunity, not waiting for the right moment, not waiting for an investor. And I wanted to get on here today because I know a lot of you guys are waiting for the right XYZ. And I'm here to break it to you because I had to learn the hard way. I have clients that learn the hard way because they were staying stuck in a rut for months, for years, and nothing is going to wait on you. So the moment you start to reclaim, hey, it's going to happen today, to get off of the reservation mode. There's no more reservation mode, no more reserving to save your energy and your time for something massive to happen. Massive things happen when you start to live life in your full potential, when you start to fully show up as the highest expression, the most elite version of yourself. And so to start today off, because we're going to go on a spiel, I want you to take a moment and I want you to put your hands on your heart. And I want you to close your eyes if you can. And you're going to breathe in through your heart center. And I want you just for a moment, just let the walls down. And I want you to imagine who you would be and what you would look like and how you would feel today as your most elite self. Who is Tanya as her most elite self, showing up in life as the highest expression of herself, with no fragmented segments of self showing up, no fears, no doubts, no insecurities. And then go ahead and state that out loud. Who am I? And state your name out loud as my most elite self. What would that look like? What would that feel like? And then today, I just want you to take the moment and I want you to practice being that person. So if you value, like I value so much my energy and how I feel, and if you value so much how you feel and you value your time, you're going to start making decisions differently on a day-to-day basis, your conversations, the places you place yourself in, the places that you say no to, and the places that you say yes to. And I want to share with you real fast, like how I learned these things and values and how to live life intentionally and how to build the business that I love and how to have the relationships and be in rooms that I only dreamed of showing up for, let alone knowing that would be my inner circle. It started off as me being on this journey of feeling really broken and feeling really lost and feeling like I was alone on this journey as somebody that I knew that there was so much more to life, right? I was like, I know that there's just so much inside of me. I watched the what is it called? Whitney Houston movie yesterday. And it was like this woman with just a legendary existence in the making. And when the pressure got intense because she didn't have a strong ecosystem, the people that were closest to her were actually more of a liability than an asset. She had died at 48 years old from a drug overdose. And so if you think of yourself, like the more that you climb in life and the more that you get to step in and to meet and have more experiences of living life as the highest expression of yourself, as this legendary experience of these gifts that have been planted inside of you, do you feel like there's so much more in life than you're actually living, than you're actually experiencing? And it's frustrating and it's discouraging and it's heartbreaking to know that there's so much more inside of you that you haven't experienced yet because you don't know how to tap into that. And that is your full potential. And they showed that the making and the process of Whitney Houston as she became one of the most legendary singers that we got to experience. What's up, Omar? And so I created an inner circle because I was on my journey of having an ecosystem that wasn't supportive of me knowing that I was made for greatness. So if you're somebody in here, I want you to just drop a comment in the comment box, say, yes, I know I'm meant for greatness. Yes, I know I was designed to be legendary. Yes, I know that there's so much more to my life than I am currently experiencing. If you feel that inside of your heart, inside of your soul, I just want you to say, drop a freaking, what's it called? Like a diamond or like a takeoff thing. I've been using a lot of the takeoff things. Throw a little takeoff thing in there. What is it called? What are the rocket? Throw a rocket, drop a rocket below. If you know that you are meant for so much more than you're experiencing. And go ahead and say, like, I'm already living it. If you're already living it as a highest expression of yourself and you're already living life in your full potential, just go ahead and say, already living it. Living, period. So on this journey, as I was like saying, okay, I'm going to try to follow this system because there's so much I want to share with you guys. So on this process, like I'm watching this movie of Tina Turner. I'm not Tina Turner. They're both legendary. Whitney Houston. And she's climbing to this greatness and there's so much pressure around her. All right. There's so much pressure around her and she didn't know, she couldn't handle it. She didn't have healthy tools. And back then your emotions were not talked about. If there was something off, you're supposed to shut it down and shut it up and like still perform regardless of how you were feeling and what you were experiencing. And if you can think a moment in time as you're scaling in your business, because a lot of you that I attract here, you're high-end entrepreneurs or you're striving to be, and you've reached a really pivotal point where you feel a lot of pressure. Maybe you've been in a rut and it becomes very disheartening and very discouraging. And you feel like it's like this up and down, this up and down, this up and down, right? I know I've been there. I can say that for a fact. I've been there many, many times. I've been there many times where I was like, I don't know if I can handle this pain. And I totally understand how people cave in. I totally understand how people cave into drugs. I totally see how people quit on themselves. I totally see how people can do X, Y, and Z. But you know what? You guys, you're not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. And the cool thing is that we have the ability to create new experiences regardless of even maybe if you did fold over for a moment in time. There have been a few segments in my life where I've folded. I caved into drugs. I caved into alcohol. I caved into partying. I quit for a moment in time. I quit for segments in my life where I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not designed for greatness. Maybe it's not in my lifeline. Maybe it's not. But then that fire and that voice still exists. And it almost becomes annoying, right? So go ahead and drop that rocket in there if you know that that resonates with you. There's so much more inside of you that you're currently experiencing. And as much as you try to shut it up and shut it down, that voice is still there. That voice is still there. And it's like, come on, get up. Come on, keep moving. Come on, keep going. There's so much more. There's so much more. I want to experience this. I want to experience that. And so, okay, so yeah, share that story. So I used to think that was me, right? I used to think that, oh my gosh, like that's where I'd have to cave in, and if I did it, I have to do it alone. All right, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to carry the weight on my shoulders alone, and I'm gonna have to be part of this journey alone. And the moment that I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this alone anymore. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to do this alone. Like this shit's hard. And it's not fun. And I feel like there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. But at that point in time, I became open-minded. And the moment you become open-minded and you accept your current situation, you accept the space you're in, is a moment in time you're going to receive your next level upgrade. You're going to receive that person that's going to be blessing you in your life and is going to say, hey, like you called for me. Here I am. I got you. I'm going to pull you over on the other side. I'm going to give you a resource that you haven't been able to figure out yet. And I'm going to fast track you, and I'm going to support you, and I'm going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to hold you to the highest standards in moments that you forget who you are. I'm going to remind you who you are. I'm going to remind you every single day until that voice becomes your own, and you're capable of reminding yourself. In moments when you put your head down, you pick your head back up. And sometimes in life, we don't feel strong enough to do that for ourselves. And that's where when we surrender and we accept our space, the people, even maybe this is what you needed to hear today, this message. People are going to come into your life, and they're going to bless you with encouragement. They're going to bless you with some form of inspiration. They're going to bless you with a story where you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can relate to that person. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Well, my book is going to be released next year, so stay tuned. Okay. That's something that I'm going to be, it's going to be published. I'll be a published author mid next year, 2023. This year has been a lot of planting things and enriching the soil. All right. Sometimes we need to enrich our soil. Sometimes we need to clean up our ecosystem, because it's not a healthy ecosystem for us to flourish. There was a story where they talked about, there was a flower, and there was these flowers and these seeds planted in poor soil, and there was sunshine, and they were, fertilizing them. But what happens was, flowers cannot expand and sprout on poor soil. So what they did is they took the seeds and they put it in enriched soil, and they nurtured the soil where they had sunlight and rays, and then the flowers were able to sprout as the highest expression of themselves, because you cannot flourish in poor soil. And poor soil also means your ecosystem. What part of your life needs to be enriched right now for you to flourish? And these are some pretty hard questions sometimes. Sometimes what needs to be enriched are your inner circle relationships. Our inner circle relationships, the people that are the closest to us. In the movie that I watched yesterday with Whitney Houston, her most toxic relationships are the people she trusted in the most, like her father and her husband. And they were poor soil for her, that she ended up in times where high pressure and the world being on top of her shoulder. She would talk to, when she was in rehab, there was a part where he was like, so what is it that you feel like you can't be successful? She says, sometimes I want to take a vacation in life, and this is my vacation. My vacation is an escape of finding that relief. And sometimes the only relief we can find are the ones that are the most destructive to ourselves. Not only with self-dialogue, but also with like drugs and alcohol, and the how we have the tools that we use to help us cope with negative, intense emotions. I've had a few deaths in my family because of drug abuse. There was a point in my life where I knew I had to clean up my ecosystem, because I remember in 2011 when my brother was in ICU, and I had to create a healthy mindset because I felt like my whole life was collapsing. And in that moment in time, I was making $40,000 a year, and I didn't have really any extra money. I barely could afford food and gas. But I had a drive inside of me, and I knew I was meant for so much more. I knew that I had to level up. I knew that I was meant for greatness, to impact others. But in order to impact others, I had to get myself right. If we want to be leaders, we have to learn how to lead ourselves first. We need to learn to become an asset to ourselves versus a liability. So in 2011, at the time, I was pretty close. We had a family friend, my brother's friend, and I was like, hey, can I borrow $5,000? I don't have credit cards. I can't even get approved for credit cards. Can I borrow this money? I want to go to this mentorship in California, and I know it's going to take me to the next level. It was such a risk. I was so afraid, but something inside of me was like, you need to figure out how to go. So I made a decision. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I made a decision. I'm going. Not maybe I'll go if I get the money. I said, no, I'm going, and I'm going to figure out how to get the money. So I borrowed the money, and I go to California and I do this 3-day mentorship with a phenomenal world-renowned coach at the time. And I come back and the fire is back. And I was able to be a part of a mastermind and a community of a new ecosystem. So I had enriched the soil in my life and in my heart and in my mind and in my spirit. And I went to this mastermind and I came back at the time. And in 60 days, I was promoted a raise of $30 an hour. I was ranked up to a top performing coach in the corporate company. So I went from a level 3 to a level 5, which is the highest level you can go to in 60 days. Because of this investment, I had 10x my income. I had 10x my performance. I had 10x the belief and the self-worth that I built in myself. And what happens a lot with all of us, because I used to fit in this bracket, is we believe that when we increase our net worth, it will increase our self-worth. But what if we flipped it? This is what I did. I flipped it. I said, what if, because this has not been working for me, what if I did what I had to do to enhance and enrich my soil so I could flourish and build up the momentum, the confidence, and the self-worth I need to be able to take my business and my life to the next level? And in 60 days, all of that happened because I had bet on myself. And I did it when I held truth, regardless of the appearance, regardless of everything feeling like it was just destroying. I was like, I will not be destroyed. I will not be broken. I will build unwavering confidence through this. But in order to do that, I had to change the soil. You know, sometimes in life we have to change the soil no matter how much it hurts. And that's the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is, this hurts my heart. It's really painful, but I know that this is for my best. Suffering is, I'm going to shut it down and shut it up, pretend it doesn't exist. And I'm going to keep dragging my feet with this. I'm going to keep dragging out the experience and not deal with what's really going on. And that's why when we accept our current situation, we accept the space we're in, it is a moment of surrender. And when we surrender, surrendering is not a flag raising saying like, hey, I quit. A surrender is just allowing yourself to go to the next level because you're releasing trying to control something that you know you have no control over. And that's what a surrender is. And so I had a client and she was looking to scale her business tremendously. She was looking to scale her business. And she was referred to me by somebody, and she's like, wait, I thought you were a business coach. And I was like, I'm actually I'm a performance coach. I help human performance. I help you operate at higher levels mentally, physically, emotionally, and energetically. So your business is going to scale as well. Your finances are going to scale. Your team is going to be operating way more functionally because you're actually cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up. Because if you keep building on top of fragments of like fragmented segments of yourself, those broken pieces or those pieces that feel broken, and you keep building on top of an unstable foundation, eventually all of this is going to collapse. And that's why your life is going to feel like this, or it's never going to really shoot up because the foundation needs to be solid. The soil needs to be enriched. All right, go ahead and drop some rockets if you guys are getting what I'm talking about here. So we ended up working together for a few months, and what happened was her whole business started turning around. She didn't understand why. She didn't understand why everything started scaling, but it did. She started moving super fast, and just everything ended up shifting because something inside of her is like, yes, it makes sense. When I pour into me and I clean up what needs to be cleaned up inside of myself, every other thing is just a mere extension of me. And so I'm coming here today, as today being my 39 years of life and being able to still be here on this earth and to be able to still make an impact. I'm opening up the inner circle for you guys for the next 24 hours. We're actually starting tonight at 6 p.m. to really clean up your ecosystem. So we've got 10 segments of our life wheel box. We've got like this overly full life box. In each segment, we have to look at, in order to change our behavior, we must change our relationship and our belief systems around them, okay? And so what I'm doing is, if you go to www.tanyacoliver.com/inner circle, I forgot for a second, inner circle, you guys are going to say thank you 22, because we're thinking 22 as we're embracing 2023. We're building the new, okay? So tanyacoliver.com/inner circle, and I'll answer some questions in a second. I see somebody wanted to hop on. I'm giving you 50% off the academy. It's 1 year of coaching with me, one time a week, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. All right, you guys are getting 50% off. This course is worth $6,000. We're having a live event. You're going to get a value worth of $70,000 for only $2,500. If you're having issues because you're feeling like it's just impossible, send me a message, inner circle, and we'll figure something out, okay? This year is your year to really scale not only your business, but yourself, your life, the level of fulfillment you feel in each area of your life, okay? To really start living life as the highest expression of yourself. Yes, thank you so much. So I'm going to take some questions on here, some Q&A. Let me know what you guys have. I'll accept you, Brian. You want to come on? Just for like a minute or so. I just accepted. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
That's great. Playing with the hair color.
Yeah, how are you? Did you have any questions on today's live? Anything you wanted to add?
No, I was just going to say the inspirational part was it's tomorrow now, right? So I wanted to get with you because I just got back from Tampa and we had a wonderful time. And I'm very interested in your group, and we reviewed you, and some of the people I follow out there, like Forbes and them, think you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing job. So
thank you.
I'm going to join in your group for this new coming year.
Amazing. We start tonight, so send me a message and we'll get you set up.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You're the best. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. So, like I said, if you're interested, for those of you that know me, I never, ever, ever do this. The end of the year, I did it. And then for my birthday, I've had a few people message me. I'm like, you know what? Like, hey, did you start that? Just like Brian, people have been traveling for the holidays. I was like, you know what? Let's start fresh and let's build the new together. And so one of my greatest pleasures is to be able to support you within creating a healthy ecosystem for you where you don't have to figure it out like I did. It took me over 18 years feeling alone and feeling like my progress was so slow. And I know you guys are like me. Like, I want healthy speed. I don't want speed where I get there and then I go backwards, because I had a long history of ups and downs. And so one thing that I was finally able to create, and even for my clients, is sustainable, healthy speed, where you're actually climbing up and you're constantly climbing up. And there's never going back. Never, ever, ever going back. And so you guys, message me if you have any questions. I'm here for it. I'm gifting you on my birthday. And tonight at 6 p.m., we have a very intimate group. We've got about 10 people in the inner circle that have taken advantage of this. This group is going to grow massively. For those of you who don't know, the mastermind elites run at 10,000. The one-on-ones run at 6,500. This is 1 year of coaching for $2,500. This is like ridiculous of what I'm offering this one time. So please, if you have any questions, any concerns, and one thing I want to say is, if you do have concerns of having an unhealthy past experience and you're projecting it into this new experience, like, don't allow your past to impact the decisions you're making for your future. Okay, it's a different person, it's a different year, it's a different season. I got your back. All right, you guys, have a blessed up day, and I will talk to you very soon, and hopefully I'll see you tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Sending you so much love and just so much success. Bye. Bye, you guys.